just not Patrick Mahomes playing all the hits of like, listen, I've been great, but I want to talk about our run game and our defense. The thing is, he's not played great. He's needed their defense to step up, Peter, and that's exactly what the Steve Spagnuolo unit's done.
Yeah, there's a ton of flaws in the Chiefs' offense right now. And if you're used to the days where the Chiefs would put up 40 and 50 points every week and it would be a shootout and they would just have to hang on to win, those days have long turned. Last year, their defense led them down the stretch. This entire season, their defense has led them down the stretch. And yesterday was, again, another masterpiece from Steve Spagnuolo's unit. They lose players every offseason. If you're watching Thursday night, Willie Gay was playing for the Saints. If you're watching the Titans yesterday, L'Jarius Sneed is out there. They go on to these other places year after year after year, and yet they replenish with new talent, and they grow new talent. Tramari Connor flying all over the field. Brian Cook all over the field. And Spags is able to dial it up in such a way where you don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming. Brock Purdy was down a couple players. Obviously, Ayuk goes down with the injury. Debo wasn't out there, and we know that McCaffrey's not there. And he's been good all season. Purdy's been good all season. He was not good yesterday, and a lot of that is because of the pressure that Spagnuolo put on him. If you look at the numbers, Steve Spagnuolo has had his way with this 49ers team. This is him including the playoffs as the Chiefs defensive coordinator. And if you look, 20 points per game, takeaways per game. They almost get 3 every game. Everything you look at, it's that Spags has a way to just solve the Shanahan offense. It was a cool matchup because it was like both teams were playing with maybe, you know, their arms tied behind their backs at some point. Like, you don't have Rashee Rice out there. You don't have Hollywood Brown. Pacheco. There's no Ayuk. There's no Pacheco. They're down a lot, but you got some of those dogs. And at the end of the day, Mahomes found a way to move the ball, and they scored their points. And then the defense let it. Karlaftis, unblockable. Chris Jones, unblockable. And then that defensive backfield, it's like they've just got young player after young player, and they come in waves. The Chiefs' defense, they're 6-0, but it's not the Chiefs of old. It's kind of cool to see their defense lead the way.
Can I just say quickly, you mentioned the Ayuk injury and Debo's out. Does anyone know, or is there any even sign of life about Christian McCaffrey? Where is this? Where is this person?
It's like,
what are we doing? I don't understand. We are rife with insiders, with information and sources. No one knows anything about, not some player, the offensive player of the year.
They're 3-4.
Yeah.
This is go time. The Rams just won. The Seahawks just won. You know, Christian hasn't talked about it publicly. Lynch has been close to the vest. His agents, Joel Siegel, he hasn't said anything. Like,
what are we doing?
This is like one of those tough ones to crack. The hope was that, all right, we get to October, we get to November, we're going to think, well, we're already October 21st. So hopefully we see McCaffrey, but the season could slip away if we don't see him soon.
The pressure's on. Like you said, 3-4, they're out of that first place position, and that's a hard place. But I'm starting to look at this a little different for the 49ers. I think their season's done. Like
done. You're calling them done now?
I'm feeling that way about that. You lose Brandon Ayuk in this situation. Obviously, in that game, we don't know, what that's going to look like for the future. Christian McCaffrey, even if he comes back, you've got double Achilles thing going on. How explosive is he going to be? How long does it take him to get back into this situation? Debo Samuel was out, obviously in this game feeling a little nauseous. The offense doesn't have the same variation without a Debo Samuels. And then you remove, of course, obviously Brandon Ayuk. I just don't see how their offense, I wanted to see them mature, especially against a really good defense. I didn't see that maturation. I didn't see the different personnel groupings and other people stepping in. But I think it's also time for us to start calling the Kansas City Chiefs a defensive team. I mean, that's exactly what they are. Their defense is solid, to your point. I mean, they had young guys stepping up, bringing pressure. And Chris Jones didn't even have his best game. I mean, you think, when Chris Jones goes off, he had like 1 tackle, I think 1 pressure, 2 hurries. But to me, it was the young guys stepping up. You had cornerbacks, a young undrafted free agent in Chris Roland Wallace, interception. Jaden Hicks, interception. There's another young rookie stepping up. You talked about the young guys for this defense. Those interceptions ended up turning into, a touchdown or a score for the Kansas City Chiefs. Justin Reed got in there. He had an interception, 3 INTs. This defense is playing lights out, carrying an offense that lacked production. Like, let's call it what it is. The Mahomes and that offense just wasn't moving the way they were supposed to.
For the Niners, I'm definitely tired of seeing this movie, and I know that they're tired of being in it. They're very banged up. I'm not going to say the season is over, but I don't need to see them against the Chiefs for a long time. On the positive side, I love these Chiefs. I love them. They're so different, and they're so weird. Mahomes is like, he's like playing terribly, statistically. He leads the NFL in interceptions. It's great. He's like 23rd in passer rating. And not only are they undefeated, he's undefeated for the first time in his career. They've never been 6-0, ever. And he's just playing poorly and winning every week. It's maddening. Can you imagine if you looked at Mahomes' stats before the game and said he's still going to beat you every single week? And it's like he's doing it with, I don't know, like some wide receivers and an old tight end who gets him 40 yards a game. It's so cool. And so, because we've seen all these iterations, and I understood why when it was like they were a team of mass destruction and this giant war machine with Tyreek and Kelsey. Like, I get why they're destroying everybody. I get it. This one's so interesting. It's so different. He doesn't even need to play well. The defense is great. He kind of just makes plays awkwardly and sloppily. And I'm sitting here while you guys are talking, and like, I got to take a walk. Look how beautiful this thing is. Look at this giant mural like it's in Times Square or Las Vegas. This is unbelievable. I'm trying to focus on everything everybody's saying. This is a beautiful, look at this person's foot up here. Yeah, look it down. And this is not
that's Mustafa.
Some fullback or tight end. That is the face of the sport who doesn't play that way, who honestly is playing poorly by his, not average, poorly by his standards. And he's just like, yeah, I'm still kind of undefeated, this NFL thing. Nobody can beat us.
Kyle, does it bother you that he's stepping on his chest?
Does it bother me? I love it.
Oh, okay.
Best part of it.
I used